Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're accelerating into a genre that tries to define the feeling of falling upwards.
Ethereal DNB shoegaze.
Exactly. And if that name makes you think of, I don't know, a high-speed car crash but viewed in slow motion,
Through a kaleidoscope.
you're getting very close to its paradoxical essence, yeah.
It's a really striking new mutation in electronic music, EDS as it's called. It fuses the high velocity, the breakneck rhythms of drum and bass,
Right.
with the drifting, really saturated, immersive textures of shoegaze. And our sources for this deep dive, they center on this microgenre and its unique narrative capacity.
And we're looking at it through a specific lens, right?
We are, specifically through the conceptual album, 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧.
So our mission today is to figure out just how this hybrid sound works, how it transforms feelings of weightlessness, memory, and just pure motion into a cinematic electronic dreamscape.
It's a shortcut, really, a way to get this very specific aesthetic, and it's kind of symbolic storytelling.
To really get it, though, you have to accept that it demands, well, introspection.
That's the perfect word for it. Our sources bring up this idea of deep listening, and they quote Pauline Oliveros.
What's the quote?
She says, "Deep listening is listening in every possible way to everything possible to hear no matter what you are doing."
And that feels critical here, because the core tension of this music is that you're listening hard to two opposing forces at the same time.
Exactly. It's intensely fast with these relentless break beats.
But at the same time, it's so introspective. It's like the music is drowning its own rhythmic explosion in this gorgeous, hazy sound.
And it's a borderless thing, bubbling up from digital communities all over the world.
It really demands that you, the listener, participate actively. You can't just have it on in the background.
No, you can't. So let's unpack that sonic architecture.
Yeah, where do we start? The contradiction is right there in the name.
It is. So let's start with the DNB percussion, the break beats.
Okay. Traditionally, these are kinetic signatures, right?
Oh.
They're designed for the dance floor, to drive up adrenaline.
But here, they're completely repurposed. The sources describe them as acting more like shifting weather patterns inside a dream.
That's a great description. And that's achieved through production choices, I assume.
It is. Artists are actively stripping the urgency from these, 170 BPM rhythms.
How? I mean, that sounds counterintuitive. How do you take the adrenaline out of something that fast?
It's all about heavy filtering and processing. They often low pass the percussion, so it feels like it's happening a layer or two beneath the surface.
The beat is still there. It's rapid.
It's flickering, but it's blurred. And they use these long delay and reverb chains specifically on the percussion. So instead of a crisp, sharp snare hit, you're hearing the trail of the sound, like it's bouncing off imaginary walls.
You get the movement, but without a clear direction.
Precisely. It creates this curious sense of grounded flight. Time feels elastic, it can stretch, it can dissolve, all based on the shoegaze textures on top.
Which makes the rhythm itself symbolic. It's not just a beat, it's storytelling.
Yes. The break beats become the narrative pulse. They're literally the heartbeat of the protagonist in 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧, the Cloud Runner.
Right.
And these rhythms, they mirror emotional shifts. So tension might be built with these short, staccato, chaotic breaks.
And surrender or release is when they dissolve completely.
Exactly. It's an internal monologue told through percussion.
And there's a specific track where this really comes through, right? Gravity reverse.
Oh, absolutely. The whole physics of the dream world flips in that track.
And the music follows.
Immediately. The break beats go from that stable, filtered drive into this controlled chaos. They're skittering, glitching, almost like they're failing.
It perfectly captures that feeling of disorientation.
It does. Now let's look at the other side, the shoegaze part.
The atmosphere.
Use atmosphere, the memory, the emotional vessel. We're talking about these rich, processed walls of sound that feel like mist or memory or distant light.
They do more than just soften the edges of the DNB. They completely redefine the landscape.
They do. Melody becomes atmosphere. Harmony becomes this emotional landscape you can get lost in.
And the technical side of that is pretty intense, I'd imagine.
It is. We're talking extreme layering, sometimes 15, 20 tracks of processed guitars, synths, all washed in reverse reverb, long delays.
The goal is just saturation.
Total sonic saturation. It creates this expansive interior space. The drone is almost like a blank slate, inviting you to project your own thoughts onto it.
You can really hear this in the part of the album called Submerged City.
A perfect example. The textures there shift so dramatically.
It starts airy, almost celestial,
And then, as the Cloud Runner descends, the textures become waterlogged.
And that's a production effect.
Yes. It's achieved with modulated, sweeping filters that mimic the physical feeling of pressure, and slow LFOs, low-frequency oscillators, that make the pitch waver slightly.
So it's a sonic metaphor for memories trying to bubble up to the surface.
Preserved, forgotten memories, that's right.
What's so fascinating to me is that the genre works not because it's a smooth blend, but because of the friction between the two parts.
An intentional contrast, that's the key.
It's not fusion, it's friction.
Exactly. The hybrid works because you let the jagged, propulsive edges of the DNB cut through the luminous fog of the shoegaze.
If you blended it too much, you'd just get ambient music.
You'd get generic ambient electronica, yeah.
Yeah.
The friction creates this constant tension. It suspends you between states.
Drifting and accelerating.
Dissolving and awakening. It makes the entire sound one of transformation, of a world constantly shifting between sky and water.
And if we connect that friction to the narrative, you can see why the genre is so perfect for these metaphysical stories.
Definitely. The album The Sky Forgot My Name uses the sky, gravity, the submerged city
as huge metaphors for self-revelation, interchange.
So let's actually walk through that journey, the journey of the Cloud Runner.
Okay.
The sources map out a 5-act conceptual arc, and the music follows this progression of consciousness.
The story starts with a track just called Cloud Runner.
Right. This is the ascent. The protagonist wakes up on a column of air and just starts running across vapor trails.
And the breakbeats here are those filtered, flickering ones we talked about.
Like distant lightning. It captures that first taste of freedom, that initial rush.
Then we get to Act 2, gravity reverse.
And this is where the dream's logic starts to fall apart. The physics flip. Gravity starts pulling upwards.
A moment of crisis.
An accelerated introspection. The music gets chaotic, but it's the philosophical question the source material poses that's so important here.
Which is?
If gravity can be reversed, what else about the self can be rewritten?
Wow. That's a deep question for an electronic music track. It's not just running away from something anymore.
No. It's about confronting what you thought was fundamentally fixed about yourself.
And that leads into Act 3, Velocity Dream.
Yes. The Cloud Runner accelerates beyond the speed of memory. The idea is that acceleration itself becomes a form of revelation.
So they're not moving through the dream anymore.
They're moving as the dream. Time dilates. Speed becomes consciousness.
And musically, how does that even work?
It's complex. The breakbeats are impossibly fast, but the shoegaze layers get so dense and sustained that the velocity just feels like a stable, high-frequency hum, a state of static, rapid transit.
And that state of stasis then breaks down.
It does. In the climax, submerged city, the sky literally shatters into water. The Cloud Runner descends into a drowned metropolis.
Where the towers are like memories.
Quiet, spectral memories. The whole setting symbolizes forgotten versions of the self, the things we choose to bury.
And the music shifts profoundly here.
Completely. The chaotic breakbeats just calm down. They become slow, pulsing currents instead of impacts. And you have those waterlogged, nostalgic textures. It's a moment of confrontation.
So the resolution happens down there in that quiet place.
It does. The Cloud Runner finds a reflection. And it's not the dynamic runner, but the person they were before they chose to forget.
The one who buried the memory because it's too painful.
And the sound itself resolves the story. That ambient hum that's been there the whole time, it finally resolves into a single, clear note.
Her name.
Her name. And the realization is that she wasn't running for freedom, she was running for herself, reclaiming every memory drowned by time and gravity and grief.
The dream is the mechanism that rewrites her from the inside out.
It's a powerful metaphor. And what's fascinating is the cultural context for all this.
Right.
This is a digital-first microgenre.
Right, it wasn't born in clubs.
No, it emerged from online communities, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube channels. It's a product of decentralized global creativity.
Which keeps it from becoming homogenized. You have UK DNB structures blending with shoegaze textures from all over the world.
And you have to ask why this sound resonates so much right now.
I think the sources nail it. It meets a craving for emotional complexity.
Yeah. We're all navigating digital acceleration.
The relentless speed of modern life, while also trying to find some inner calm.
That's the duality. EDS gives you the high intensity of DNB, but without the anxiety. And the tranquility of shoegaze without the stagnation.
Energy without anxiety and tranquility without stagnation. That's a perfect summary.
It's a sonic mirror to the psychological tightrope we all walk.
And because the music is so atmospheric and symbolic, The listener's role really changes.
It does. You become a co-creator.
The music provides the framework.
But you are encouraged to fill the spaces with your own memories, your own interpretations. The emotional ambiguity is what builds a community around it, people interpreting the Cloud Runner's journey through their own lives.
So where does it go from here? What's the future?
Well, it's tied to audio technology. We're already seeing artists using AI-generated sound design to create textures you just couldn't make with analog gear.
And I've heard about the move into spatial audio formats.
That's the next big step, creating immersive 3D soundscapes that actually simulate movement through these dream worlds.
So you won't just hear the Cloud Runner's journey.
You will literally inhabit it. It's moving beyond just music and into a kind of abstract and narrative art form that's all about internal experience.
So to summarize our deep dive then, Ethereal DNB Shoegaze is this really profound modern fusion.
It uses breakbeats for motion, hazy textures for memory, and these big conceptual narratives for personal reinvention.
It's a sound that shows us not just how we can listen to music, but how we can process our own history and consciousness.
And that brings us to our final thought. It's rooted in the Cloud Runner's journey of self-reclamation. If our internal landscapes, our memories, our fears, the forgotten selves we've submerged, can be symbolized by reversing gravity or drowned cities.
What would the sonic architecture of your current internal landscape sound like? What genre is defining your journey right now?